Have you ever been picked up by another person and thrown across the room like you were a human lawn dart? I have, and it was by this guy.
Me next. Our next videos are going to be from the Fire Department Chronicles. Here we go.
What's going on, everybody? Many of you have asked for an update on some of the people featured in the Real Things I've Seen series. So here you go. So after all that went down and we all checked the contents of our underwear, we loaded that guy up and brought him down to the hospital where he bought himself some fancy new internal hardware. But the craziest part about that entire call is he forgot everything.
Whoa.
And why do I exist?
No, this would be so scary. This would be so scary. Can you imagine just waking up in a hospital and like, who am I and why am I part cyborg? Like, imagine.
And who made me?
Because we gave him Versed prior to cardioverting him, he forgot everything leading up to us welding the crap out of him wanting to beat the crap out of somebody there that pushed that button, and then transporting him to the hospital. In fact, halfway down to the hospital, he was asking if we could bring him back to his house because he was completely fine now. And it was on that day that I realized that with enough medication, you can forget anything. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. This dude was another person that should have met whatever afterlife entity you believe in, but instead walked away with a couple broken ribs and a bruised lung. And all because of this guy. The guy that I couldn't depict well enough, sitting at 6'8", 300 pounds, that literally picked up the car with one arm and dragged his meat pancake friend out from underneath and stopped him from remaining.
Also, what a Chad though. Like, can you imagine? You go to the gym every single day doing massive deadlifts so that like when your adrenaline is at its all-time peak, you can save your friend. That's an absolutely Chad move.
A dead, flat human. And on that day, I learned that adrenaline and friendship are the strongest things in the world.
What'd I say?
I mean, except for my wife's hate for the peanut butter spoons that I leave in the sink every day. That's really strong. Holy crap. Hi. Taters McGee was by far the most interesting patient I've ever ran on and made me question my actual knowledge of the human body for a solid 10 seconds. And by the time we dropped this guy up at the hospital, what they said was going on blew my mind. And that was they had no freaking clue. You what? Yeah, that happens so many times that we drop people off at the hospital and we never actually get an answer. Why? Not because the hospital's incompetent, but because they don't actually know what's going on until they run the outrageous amount of tests that they need to run to find out why this patient is direct injecting taters right into their sinus cavities. But unfortunately, that's just a part of the job.
Do you get dehydrated a lot, need a drink that won't break the bank? Then you should get Gamersupps. They believe in traditional American values, like anime girl guys. It's caffeine-free and caffeinated in 2 kinds of tubs. Gamersupps improved my social life, and now I can stop seeing people in the mirror. Popular flavors include Guacamole Gamer Fart 9000, Sweet 6-Pack, Blowhole Blast, and Sploosh. Use discount ChaCha at checkout for 10% off. Stay hydrated, stay hydrated, stay hydrated.
We're back with another episode of Where Are They Now? And today we might discover some very personal connections with one of the people in the videos. Let's get into it. Why is he not wearing clothes?
Red vines.
He's a cow, man.
Moo. This guy was actually one of my first interactions with someone who had taken edibles. I mean, obviously I ran on a few people who enjoyed a little bit of the devil's lettuce, which for the most part is harmless and completely entertaining.
The kazoo.
But when it comes to edibles, they tend to have the highest adverse reactions simply because of the amount of time it takes to be absorbed and the type of route that it's taking to be absorbed. And for this guy at first, it left him completely catatonic and looking like he was riding the Milky Highway, and then quickly came to life with a wonderful yellow liquid surprise and a few well-placed moos. Moo! 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 But in the end,
it's
we were able to get him down
Moo!
to the hospital where he was completely fine and probably, hopefully, kept the gift of yellow rain going for the ER staff. Calling himself the Crispy Kris Kringle.
Why are there Christmas decorations in April?
This guy was actually one of the calmest trauma alerts I've ever called. When we got on scene, he was acting like he was completely fine, confused at why we were even there, and in fact was refusing to go to the hospital at one point in time. And all of this made sense when we realized that he had taken a tumbling nosedive off of a 25-foot tree and landed directly on his face. Once we got him down to the hospital, all of our suspicions were confirmed when they told us that he had a lovely traumatic brain injury, some randomly placed broken bones, and owed his neighbor a few mortgage payments for saving his life.
Dude, you gotta drive faster. Wait,
Yo.
why? Because I'm gonna crap my pants.
The sweaty individual desperately trying not to drop a hot piece of butt fudge into
No!
their BDUs
Butt
was
fudge!
unfortunately me. This was at the end of a very long 24-hour shift where I had spent the previous 12 hours with an unexpected colon cleanse because apparently I ate something that my sensitive ginger stomach didn't like. And of course, we caught a late call, which set off the chain of events that led to me begging my partner to drive faster or sweet death.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And I'd love to say that the other two people portrayed in this video hoping that I would crap my pants in the back of the boo-boo bus was an over-exaggeration, but if there's two things I've learned that firefighters love, it's saving lives and ruining them by telling every single person we work with that their fellow brother dropped a deuce inside of their Fruit of the Looms. Hey everyone, and welcome to the third installment of Where Are They Now, and what I believe are the three most interesting calls I've ever been on. Yeah, I think I felt something hit my leg. A few? Wait, what, how many's a few? There are two types of people in this world. People who lose their freaking minds the second they feel pain, and then this guy, who was shot 9 times and couldn't have cared less about the 900-mile-per-hour pieces of metal that were shoved inside of his body.
Which is
until he
wild,
could
to be
figure out
honest.
whether or not his car needed a new slathering of paint.
'Tis but a scratch.
But honestly,
Tis a
I've never
flesh
seen someone
wound.
handle pain better than this dude did. And then when I found out that not a single one of those bullets hit a major organ or artery in his body when he walked out of the hospital the next day, I knew for a fact that he was certainly the luckiest and probably holiest person walking around on the planet.
Holiest!
All of a sudden, I knew exactly what the bottom of my foot looked like.
So
Oh.
unfortunately, I've seen a lot of crazy crap in my career, including people cut in half and body parts strewn all over highways. But this was my first time experiencing the thought of, holy crap, I might actually blow chunks all over this road.
No.
Don't throw up.
Seeing that guy's leg with one more joint than it should have had briefly made me question my career choice and definitely made me feel bad for his stupid choice of sticking his foot out the window. But then one of the police officers showed up for traffic control and clued me in on the fact that this guy was wanted for multiple crimes, including child abuse. And even though my treatment didn't change that day, I definitely wondered, was somebody driving a giant truck of sweet karma that day?
Right?
There's a soap bottle in my rectum.
We've talked about this. If it doesn't have a flare, don't put it up there. We have a whole song and dance for it.
So I would love to say that this is the only person I've ever ran on who attempted to explore their nether region with household items, but I would be lying. In fact, the only thing I'm yet to experience is someone being straight up honest about trying to shove things inside of their backdoor cinnamon ring.
Not the back door. Not the back door.
Which I truly don't understand, because at the end of the day, no first responder, nurse, or doctor gives a flying crap about what you do on your personal time.
Right.
Especially since we are most likely some of the craziest, strangest, and most eclectic humans that you will ever meet. But the one thing that we can all definitely agree on is the one place things without a flare should never
Yeah! If it doesn't have a flare, don't put it up there!
go is your chocolate starfish no-no zone. Hey everyone, our Where Are They Now adventure continues today with patients that were seemingly disconnected from reality and one that wanted to disconnect my head from my body. Calm down, you know we're here to help you. Flakka was by far the craziest street pharmaceutical I'd ever seen people on. I mean, up to this point, I'd seen your normal opioid-induced nap-nap, or people screaming at the top of their lungs after their 60th line of booger sugar made their pacemaker start firing off multiple rounds of heart-drilling electrified regrets. But what I had never seen was grown men in their full birthday suits gifted with Olympic-level sprinting abilities like they had after consuming a fresh batch of Flakka.
I just felt like running.
And funny enough, what my brain still can't seem to process is why every single one of them was being chased by wolves. Every single one of them.
We're gonna get you, we're gonna get.
Which means they're either being transported to another dimension or we have invisible wolves running around us that none of us flaccid up individuals can see. But good news is, after a fresh batch of Haldol and Valium, they got away from those wolves and took a happy trip up to Cloud 9.
Sounds like a rough
Mike,
time.
This is Jimmy. Jimmy's blood sugar drops. Got it. Have you ever been picked up by another person and thrown across the room like you were a human lawn dart? I have. And it was by this guy.
Me next.
Low blood sugar can be a very interesting thing. For most people, when their sugar begins to drop off, they become weak, tired, or maybe even unconscious. But not this guy. Somehow this guy's lack of brain sugar caused him to become the insulin-dependent Incredible Hulk. And as
Me
a
next.
fresh medic, I figured this was my chance to show the world how strong and nimble a ginger stretcher fetcher could be. And then I got blasted across the room like a high-powered fart in the wind. But after some great distraction techniques and very quick darting, we were able to get some glucagon in his arm, his sugar back up, and a lot of ice packs for me.
Phew.
Oh my God, is he weird? If you want to deposit a butt burrito in your pants while simultaneously looking another human in the eyes, give someone adenosine.
I pooped my pants.
Adenosine is a medication that we give to patients when their heart rates are too high to hopefully help slow it back down. But it has an incredible side effect of making the entire room smell like backdoor dumplings when you literally watch somebody's heart stop and then pray it starts back up before you have to start giving them the old staying alive cartilage cracker. Good news is, though, the medication works 90% of the time, leaving them feeling 1,000 times better and happy we came. For the other 10%, they get two things: a sedative and to ride the lightning.
Try to catch me howling at
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool stuff.